The final day of racing out at the Singapore World Championships, and we've got some of the most dominant races on tonight's schedule to go through. We've got a Leon Marchand gold medal, a Summer McIntosh gold medal, and an American world record in the 4x1 medley relay. Final time we're doing this, let's jump straight in. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Propulsion Swimming Podcast. Final daily recap from the World Championships out in Singapore, and we've got some fast racing to go through. Some really dominant wins, to be honest with you. Close races maybe were quite hard to find in tonight's schedule, but nevertheless some really impressive swims with a world record, a near world record elsewhere, and McIntosh and Marchand finished the week with a bang.
Yeah, I think the word dominance is probably the right thing, because there are only maybe two finals in the whole of tonight's racing that were actually quite close and exciting, if you like. The other ones were just almost a smashing throughout the whole race, really. Most are 50s, obviously, 2 400s, and then the relays at the end, but we'll get through them all.
Yes, now, just to remind you guys that this episode from Propulsion Swimming is brought in partnership with One Flow Aquatics out in Summer Bay, the newest training camp destination on the Red Sea in Egypt. And if you want to book your next training camp now, you can do so by following the link in the show notes of this podcast. Dan, it's our final recap show. We've enjoyed doing these every day this week. I know people had to be patient over the last 2 days while I was on a loud poolside at Ponds Forge watching Swim England Summer Nationals and creating some content for that. But today, quieter setting. I'm back home. And we've got fast racing to go through. So I'm going to start straight away with the men's 50 meters backstroke. Kliment Kolesnikov has looked mighty impressive through these games at his first 50 speed. Whenever he swam 100, and we've kind of been sat here waiting for the 50 to come, waiting for his shot to come. And I genuinely thought the world record was on at one point in this.
Yeah, as soon as you see him do a really good start, you think, oh, he's already won. It's now a question of how fast can he go. I think the comms was saying as long as he goes sub 24, it's probably his, and he's gone under it by miles. 23.68 for a championship record, second fastest time ever, and I can't believe it's his first world title. Did I hear that right on the comms? Is that his first world title? That blows my mind if that is the case. But he's won this at a canter. Half a second over a 50 is massive. Even though we had a joint silver, which made it a little bit exciting behind him, I think Peter Kurtzy has just had the dream week of racing. A gold and 2 silvers in the 3 backstroke events. He has had an amazing week. He's got to be up there with one of the top swimmers of the whole week. But Kolesnikov wins this at a canter.
It's all about swim speed.
Yeah,
like we spoke about this in the women's 50 backstroke. His swim speed is just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And to beat a field by 0.4 is huge.
Yeah, 0.4, 0.5. Yeah, it's a big amount. And I wouldn't say, like, he's tall, obviously, and quite big, but I wouldn't say he's, like, absolutely chiseled like your Ben Prouds type thing. But the power he has in his stroke is unreal. And that's the reason why his swim speed is so good. I'm glad he got the start right, because that needed to be fixed based on what we saw in the semis. He did that, fixed the wrongs, and he's come away with the second fastest time ever. So, yeah, congratulations to him.
Women's 50 meters breaststroke, Ruta Meilutytė. She makes it 4 in a row in the 50 meters breaststroke. And again, she won by 0.5. She won by an absolute country mile, 29.55. We said yesterday after her semi-final swims that potentially she has one of, if not the best start in women's swimming. It's just dominant, and as soon as she's ahead, you've got no chance of catching her.
Yeah, that's the problem. That is the problem. The reactions are unreal. Like, you just watch it and you think it's only like 0.1 quicker than everyone else, but that 0.1 looks humongous. And then because the underwater phase is usually quite good as well, she's ahead by a quarter body length, and you can't catch her at that point. The stroke rate is great, not as high as Palato's, for example, but she's still catching, and the stroke rate is really high. It's really quite strong. And yeah, once she's up front, she's in just, I wouldn't say impossible to catch, but extremely hard to catch. And again, not a million miles away from the world record like she was yesterday in her semi-final swim, but 4 in a row. That's an amazing stat. I didn't realise that at all. Yeah, and of course she's been around since London, hasn't she, when she won that gold in the 100. So she's been around forever. So I suppose it's the twilight years of her career, but it is the end of Lily King's career after coming 5th in that race just then.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of Ruta, if we just go back to the gold medalist, she won in London 2012. The 50 is now in the LA program 2028. Should she win gold, that's a 16-year gap between her first gold and potentially her second gold. I don't think that's ever been done before. And if she carries on at this rate, the 50 is hers. No one's quite close to her just now. I know Pilato has previously hit this world record. So potentially she's the threat in the future, although Tang's an amazing breaststroker as well. But she carries on beating Fields by 0.5. That's some stat that we've got to look forward to.
I mean, you say that, and Ledecky could also join that crew. So
yeah, but she's won ones in between.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Whereas
right,
Ruta
okay.
hasn't,
So
is
that's
what I'm saying.
Right, that the difference between first and next, if you like. Okay,
Yeah.
fine, I see. I mean, still an amazing achievement for both if they were to do it.
Yeah.
And you have to say, as of right now, they're favourites to win a gold medal at the Olympic Games in LA, with Ledecky probably being 15, I imagine, being favourite for that. And then Ruta for this 50, because I don't know if anyone's getting close based on what we just saw. I know Pilato is the world record holder, or no, she was. Ruta's the world record holder, but Pilato is capable of going 29 mids, isn't she, roughly speaking? Yep. So I suppose she's probably the biggest threat, and of course only 20 herself. So yeah, but at the moment Ruta is by far head and shoulders the quickest breaststroker we have in the planet right now.
Do you know what? I want to bring this up. Tang, who got silver, I've been really impressed with the amount of Chinese support at these games. Like, it's made the venue come to life a little bit.
Yeah.
Because there has been patches where it's from far away, it's felt a bit quieter. You can hear, like, if you're just looking at British swimmers who are out there, I can audibly hear, like, Ollie Morgan's dad. I can audibly hear Matt Richards' dad before the start and stuff like that. I can pick out these names. But when there's a Chinese swimmer in the water, the atmosphere is different.
It increases, for sure.
World Aquatics have just announced Beijing 2026 World Short Course, and then 2029 World Long Course is going to Beijing. So I think actually some atmosphere there is something really to look forward to in the near future.
Yeah, we did say, even though it's in Singapore, that the Chinese is kind of like a home world champs for them, and that really showed in this evening session, especially more so than any other for some reason. But I think the Chinese swimmers really kind of felt that, got that atmosphere, and built strength on that, because the next race in the women's 53, they actually end up with 2 on the podium.
I know they do. The women's 53, they have 2 on the podium, but this again, dominant win by Meg Harris. Actually, someone we didn't speak about after the semi-finals, but she had a really good relay split in the 4x1 earlier on this week for Australia. I think she hit a 51.9, 51.8 in that race herself. She just pulled away. It looked effortless the way she pulled away, and her reaction at the end of it tells me she was surprised. And if I'm right in thinking she's gone faster than this before.
Oh, I can't remember. Has she gone sub 24 before?
She might have at Paris, because she was on the podium in Paris.
She came silver in Paris, so she might have done. I can't remember off the top of my head. But the only note I've written here was Meg Harris absolutely flew. And I'll tell you what, that from maybe 25 onwards, just destroyed the field. I think Gretchen probably had the best start, as she normally would do. And then because of that start, she's going to be ahead from 15 to 25. But then Meg Harris, I don't know what happens. Just the accelerator just went off, and she just left them all in the dust, really. And I don't know how much there is to dissect. I think she said in the interview afterwards she did take a breath, even though the aim was to not breathe. So we've been talking about this a few times this week, and we're like, what kind of works here? But it works for her in this occasion. But weirdly, that wasn't part of the game plan. She's been trying to improve that in training. But yeah, she's going to be a threat every major international meet in the summers from now on, obviously, both in the 50 and the 100, of course. Like you said, she's going 51 points in relays. Yeah, kind of a shame for Wasik, actually, just because Sostrom's not there, and you think, well, it's a missed opportunity in my head. Like, she's capable of going sub 24, but didn't quite happen for whatever reason, and like nearly a second off her best, which is a shame.
Yeah, it really didn't happen, which was a weird one. Maybe the gastro bug that's going around out there.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe.
Men's 1500 meters freestyle. Again, this is always becoming like a staple of the program of one to watch, and we were given an absolute show by Jawadi and Sven Svorts. Bobby Fink tried to live with them. I know his time looks fairly close, but in the end, for me, it was always a 2-horse race with these two next to each other. And Jawadi split a 26 point to finish this. 26.50 to end a 1500 meters freestyle. I'd love to see any of our listeners give that a go and see what that like. Maybe even split a 26 point off the back of a 100 or a 200.
A I think when we did that media relay race, I think I went at 25.9. I thought, oh, blimey, that's quite good. So he's going that same sort of speed at the end of a 1500, which is utterly insane. Plus, I had a dive. So yeah, he's a phenomenal athlete. But he was put to the challenge with Schwartz, who had I wouldn't say a quietly good meet because he's medalled in the 2 races that he swam in. He's done really well, and I think the final, you look up and down that field, you think this is a stacked race yet again. But the pace of Schwartz and Djawadi sort of paid dividends because they dropped Short Wellbrook, who obviously did the open water really well. They dropped him. Toncelli got dropped about 1,000 meters or so, something like that. So it becomes at that point a 3-horse race. And then Fink got dropped, I think, in the last maybe 200 or so. Yeah, but Djawadi's 125 to finish was incredible. And I think that's the reason why Schwartz tried to pull away, because he hasn't got that speed at the end.
Yeah, I did notice
to compete. So, yeah.
Schwartz tried to gap him, and you could see it was like 300 mark, 400 mark. He tried to really push the pace and kind of break him because he saw what Djawadi did in that 800 meters freestyle. I mean, yeah, it was a good effort, to be fair to him. Like, it's a personal best.
Oh, yeah. Can't ask for much more. I think he did everything he could. You're just dealing with Djawadi, who seems to be on fire at the moment. Obviously did the ace and 15 double, and does what kind of Finkers... I think Finkers started a revolution with this last 50, maybe even 100 sprint at the end now. And Djawadi's found another sort of gear to do that now. So, he's going to take some beating.
He's got a very, very interesting coach who is in the south of France and used to coach Hector Pardo. We spoke to Hector Pardo when he was racing. It was more 15 than open water. He was still doing open waters. But the training was more open water, but he was doing 1500s at the same time. But some of the meterage that this squad do is just out of this world.
Yeah, it's mental.
And I'm not entirely sure that philosophy would have changed. I think the meterage for Djawadi will be incredibly, incredibly high, but he's with a coach who has had some huge success in distance swimming, albeit those swimmers don't tend to have the longevity because of the meters that they do. So interesting to see kind of how Djawadi backs this up in the future. But for me, right now, he's stamped himself as the one to beat.
He has to be number 1 in the world. I think that time, I can't remember what the comm said because I missed it, but it's one of the fastest 1500s we've ever seen. Only Fink has gone quicker, I think. Maybe Paltrinieri, I can't remember. So he's in the top 5, definitely. Yeah. So, he's one to watch out for. But interesting sort of thought about his training. The meterage is insane. When we spoke to Hector, it's like, 10 Ks every session. It might have changed, but if it's working, why would you change it? You're getting a lot of success. But like you say, that would be detrimental to longevity. So we'll see how he gets on. But yeah, right now he is, I wouldn't say head and shoulders because he's having quite a challenge behind him, but he is getting the hand on the wall first. So he has to be number 1.
Men's 400 meters individual medley. Of course, there was a clear number 1 heading into this race. Leon Marchand, this is his race. It will be for the near future. He finished in this one in a 4:04.73 and called by the comms a freak. I just think he's an outstanding swimmer. I think this is like the 5th fastest time ever. Maybe slightly lucky to make the final. I'm sure he knew what he was doing, saving himself in. But when you see the reigning world record holder, reigning Olympic champion in lane 1, you start questioning what happened in the morning swims. Did you take it a little easy? Because people like Lewis Clareburt missed out on this final. Yeah. So maybe a little bit of squeaky bum time for him. But he would have been in the final, so he would have, I presume, known what time he needs to hit.
In the final heat. Yes.
In the final heat in the morning, he would have known what time he needed to hit to get in. Yeah. Just about gets in and then blows the field away. The world record was never really on.
Not
really. He pushed the fly slightly, but he was off it on the backstroke, and then his breaststroke he fell away, which shows how good that world record swim is.
Yeah, I suspect every time he does an IM swim now, we're going to be looking at the world record, and he's either going to be absolutely on it, or he's either going to be.
You say miles off 4:04.
He's either going to be off it by 2 seconds, like he was, or he's going to be under it by 1.3, like it was in the 200 IM. So he's either going to hit it, or he's either going to smash it, or he's just going to be off it. But I don't know how much there is to dissect. I think the only real talking point is that. Is it lucky? Maybe it was part of the plan to be in lane 1 to conserve as much energy as possible.
Well, he had the 4x1 medley as well, didn't he?
He did, yeah, which he did really well in. But we'll get to that. But 4:04, no one's close to it. Masushita 4:08 for a PB, borrowed in 409, so the podium was sub 410, which is actually quite good. But yeah, Marchand's just so far ahead, and I don't know if anyone can catch him because he is so strong on every leg. Backstroke is probably the weakest one, but even that is pretty strong as well. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? So not much to dissect apart from he's a generational talent, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. A meet where he's focused on the IMs and he's hit one astonishing world record and won a gold at an absolute canter. But 404 as a canter is a ludicrous thing to say.
Yes,
it's absolutely mad to be saying these things. I think maybe the talking point, if we're not going to dissect Marchand too hard, is the times behind him, 408, 409 to win medals. It's fast, but it's not moving on. It's not, because you think, what, Bobby Fink in season swam a 407. Carson Foster in season, who I think he's done some ligament damage in his ankle, swam a 407.
He's gone 7 or 6 before,
yeah. The times behind are there for the taking. I feel like the rest of the field isn't catching up with Marchand at all right now.
It doesn't seem that way, no. But again, it goes back to what we were saying earlier, the first cycle of an Olympic cycle. True. So maybe everyone's at different points at the moment. I suspect it's all quite hard work right now, or maybe even an easy year before the work starts next season, I guess. But everyone's going to have something different, however they do it with their coach and their team. But has it going to move on? Is it going to move on in terms of depth?
I think
it will eventually.
Carson Foster would have been fun in this one, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. But I just don't think anyone's close to Marchand. That's the thing.
I do have a talking point at this one. 400 IM's always been on the first day. It's one of the hardest events. Why on earth are you sticking it on the final day for these guys? Same with the women. Sticking a 400 IM at the end of a meet is, for me, torture.
And this is what I was going to bring up with Summer McIntosh, because her schedule, as everyone knows, is insane. But to end the schedule with a 400 IM, I know she did the medley relay after, but that's not her main thing. But a 400 IM at the very end is really, really tough. And so people are still expecting her to hit a world record. I mean, she swam a really good time still, but that's after a 400 IM in the morning of the same day, plus all the 200 flies she's done, all the 400 frees, 800 free the other day as well. So, it's a horrible schedule, and you're kind of expecting her to hit world records every time she swims. It's a really tough ask, but yet she still goes a 425, and I think it's the third fastest ever. So, she's had a fantastic meet. She should be very, very happy with what she's done.
Yeah, it's almost the same with Marchand. It's quite hard to dissect these 400 IM swims because the swimmers are in a world of their own. Leon Marchand, Summer McIntosh, they're just country miles ahead of the rest of the world. Yeah. And every time you're looking at it, you're just going, okay, so the thing we need to get excited about here is, can they chase the world record? And you're thinking, well, this is day 8.
Yes, exactly.
I know Leon's not had a heavy schedule like Summer has, but Summer has had the heaviest schedule out of most. If not all, at these games. So it kind of kills the excitement a little bit. I get maybe the scheduling from World Aquatics. They're just thinking, oh, look, Leon Marchand, Summer McIntosh in the same session. End this meet, end it with a bang, get bums in seats, get people watching it, chasing world records. But when I mean,
maybe that worked to a point because the crowd was packed.
Yeah, but when they fall off the world record pace,
it loses a lot of...
And it does a disservice for the swim anyway, because a 425.7, a championship record, is an absurd time.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be as celebrated as if she had hit the world record, which I think is kind of the pressure and expectation, which I think you're going to struggle to do, sticking it at the end of a meet.
Yeah, especially with how dominant those swimmers are. I mean, Summer's just won that by 7.5 seconds. Like,
it's not
so far ahead, it's ridiculous. These are the best 400 IM swimmers in the world, and she is leaving them in their wake even further than that. Actually, it's almost clear water. I don't know. There's not too much to dissect, like you were kind of saying, really.
The race behind was good, and we got a really rare joint silver in a 400 meters individual medley. Yeah. Like, what are the chances of that?
Yeah, slim, very slim. And actually, in a way, we got to bring her up. The 12-year-old Uzidi came 4th again, and only 0.5 off winning a medal, an individual medal, a silver actually, if you think about it. That's insane. So maybe she's the one to challenge Summer if she can keep going and enjoying the sport, which is what we always say with our Brits. If a 12-year-old swimming that well, you got to sort of almost look after it a little bit, because the training load is going to be quite high to be able to swim that well. So you got to watch out. But a 4th to go, 4:33 is mental, I suppose. Yeah.
2 Brits in both of these 400 IMs. Max Litchfield with a 4:12.77 to finish 7th. Freya Colbert a 4:40.21 to finish 8th. both capable of faster swims, but I think we might hear a little bit more of what's been going on in British swimming camp over the next few days, weeks, months.
We can't say too much, obviously. So, yes, we'll leave that to them.
Men's 4x1 medley relay. Always an absolute belter of a race on the programme. Championship record won by neutral athletes in a 3:26.93. I'm going to bring this up. I think this was the best relay on the program, like in terms of race. When you look at some of the splits, so obviously you always take away some of the fastest splits when you look at like the 4x1, the 4x2, where are the insane splits. We've got a list of 8 or like 7 or 8 swimmers here. So Thomas Chekon for Italy leads this off in a 51.8, which is rapid.
Very good
backstroke.
Yes.
On the breaststroke legs, you've got Pagoda, who went a 57 point. You've got Leon Marchand, who went a 58.4 to really put France in with a massive chance of the lead here. Then on the fly legs, you've got Maxime Grosset going a 49.27, by the way.
Yeah.
Ilya Karun going for a 49 point as well. And Minikov for the neutral athletes, who really hasn't done anything individually. He swam a 50.1 to really keep them in it with France. And then the freestyle leg, holy, what on earth?
I know.
Jack Alexei has swam a 45.95 and went out, by the way, in a 21.2, which, where would that have placed him in the 53? Well, he would have placed him about second or third.
Second, he would have beaten Ben Proud, and he's done that to feet. So how quick had he have gone?
Off a relay takeover, I get that.
True.
But it puts into question maybe in the 100 free. He did hold back slightly, I think, in the first 50. Just gun it. Just go for it. You are a big man. Give the wash to everyone.
Yeah.
And he wasn't the only outstanding swim. The neutral athletes won this and a championship record and a near world record because Kornev went a 46.4, by the way.
Yeah.
And then Josh Leando for Canada swam a 46.9. These times are mental, but there's so many of them, they don't pop off. But you're just looking at it, just like, holy what?
There are no anomalies here. Like every team, you've listed a load of different countries there, and they've all got one outstanding swim or two. I mean, I'm looking at the start when these swimmers are walking out, and you think, that's a good team. Not like Italy when they walk out, look, France come out, oh, that's a good team. And then neutral athletes, God, that's even better. And then the Americans, like, oh my God, this is an amazing race. And what I really was surprised at, there's no Chinese. So if in theory, this could have been a mega race when you've got the likes of Pan involved, and Jia Yu and swimmers like that, Qin Haiyang. I was sort of stunned by what I was watching. I just think the talent on display was mental. Like you've listed some of the best splits there. Some of those splits by themselves are insane, but the fact that you've just listed 7, 8, 9 swimmers, I don't know how people are going to get quicker. Some of these splits, like Grosset, 49.2. What?
Well, I think Dressel's gone faster than that before, hasn't he?
49.0, I think he had to do against us in Tokyo.
I would love for someone in the comment section on YouTube now to go through of the fastest relay splits of all time and just have a look and be like, well, what is the hypothetical fastest relay that could have ever happened? Because you've got probably Chekon leading it off. You've probably put a PT split in there because he's got some absurd medley relay splits. The fly, you're talking Dressel or Grosset, and then Jack Alexei or Pan on the 100. The world record could be really, really low.
It's ridiculous. It really is. I think probably, even though I've just said Grosset, I've singled him out. It's Alexei. 45 point. I mean, he absolutely flew. It's down to him. That's why America got on the podium in the first place here. But 21.2 to go a 45.9 is really, really insane, actually. I'd love to see him do it in an individual, because then he's a real threat to your Popovic. Just begs the question, like, how fast can he actually go? Based on that split, you're thinking, wow, he can go 46.4. That's the same level as Pan on the world record. And Popovic, and you think, wow. So, yeah, definitely the race of the day, and has to be right up there with race of the meet as well. That was a fascinating race.
Fantastic. Brits in this one finished down in 6th. I think there's some real shoots of life in this. We know what Ollie Morgan's capable of. He's had a really, really busy meet. So like the medley relay is right at the end of his schedule. He had to swim the heats this morning as well. So he had a lot of meters in the legs when it got to this point, but he was still swimming a 52.100 backstroke. You've got Greg Butler, who went a 59 point. Ed Mildred, who's actually really progressed it on at this meet. We've not really spoken much about him, but he went a 51 point in the butterfly as well, which is good to see. And then Duncan Scott anchors in a 47.7, which is a very, very good time. But when you stick it next to Alexi and Liendo and Kornev,
you can't.
Like, what are these monsters doing?
Like a 47.7, I would consider extremely good. But then you put Alexi on Alexi, and you think, wow, he's just gone 2 seconds, nearly 2 seconds quicker. That's just it's still baffling. Still baffling in my head. But we've got, I suppose, we've got some work to do. I suppose the other countries are just a little bit ahead of us based on that, I suppose.
Yep.
But I actually think the swimmers that we've got in the pool are doing quite well. Greg Butler, I think, has actually really progressed quite well since he's gone sub 60 in his 100 breaststroke. I think that's a huge confidence boost. It's out of his mind. The mental barrier is gone, and every time he does that swim, he's now going to go a sub 60, and then hopefully it's a floodgates just open, and suddenly some fast swims come from him, as with Ed Mildred as well.
Absolutely. And we finished this meet with the women's 4x1 medley relay, the final race of the World Championships, and a world record to round things out. This was kind of expected when you've got a team of Regan Smith, Kate Douglas, Gretchen Walsh on the fly is the massive kicker in this one, and Tori Husk to round things off. But actually, maybe the most impressive split of this team was Kate Douglas swimming at a 64.2.
Yeah.
Again, these relay splits are meant like so fast.
Yeah, that is probably the best split, even though Gretchen went a 54.9, that also has to be up there. But yeah, the 64.2 from Douglas is sensational. I think she's also up there for some of the meet because she has done extremely well. She did the double, didn't she? The 100 and 200 double plus the relays, and world records to go to her name, which means I believe they share 30k. I think that's the way it works.
Yeah.
But in total, 3 world records for that the whole week. I think 2 of them go to USA as well. So good meet all round, and I like the idea that these goals have been separated with different countries scattered.
It's all over the place,
Has to be good for the sport, surely.
I don't actually know what the final medal table looks like. We'll get into it when we do a kind of a roundup, and maybe we rank or discuss how different countries' meets have gone, because there's
we'll try to do that,
because there's a lot of it's a wide spread at these World Championships.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
This women's medley relay team, by the way, it's only going to get better. This is not going to get beaten for a very long time.
No, I actually think they're going to be unbeatable. I don't know who's going to beat them, because the Gretchen Walsh effect is just far too big.
No, maybe China, but no one is near Gretchen.
So.
Maybe Tang could get close to Douglas's split, but that split alone is like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
yeah,
I
don't think so.
No, unbeatable for a very long time, which is kind of maybe the rounding out note that USA needed, because there was a lot of negativity at one point in this meet with some certain ex-swimmers calling them out, and Lily King biting back, kind of rightly so, I think. She did, especially after
that session yesterday with I think they hit the world record yesterday, didn't they? And in the mixed relay, plus Ledecky did what she did. So it's almost an answer back. But maybe that was the kicker that they needed. That team needed to try and push on again. So maybe it kind of works, but arguments both ways.
Okay, that just about rounds up our Day 8 recap of the World Championships out in Singapore. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined us on these daily recaps. We're going to be putting some episodes out in the coming weeks, months, where we'll rank the top swims. We'll discuss the British races. We'll talk about other nations around the world as well. So make sure you're subscribed on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify to stay up to date with those. And we're going to have a little bit of a break, and we'll see you guys very, very soon.
Yeah, thank you for listening this week, everyone, and we'll catch you on the next one.
You've been listening to the Propulsion Swimming Podcast with Scott and Dan. We want to thank you for joining us and invite you to subscribe to the show, as well as checking out the Propulsion Swimming YouTube channel for weekly tutorials and videos to get your swimming fix. We will be back next week. Until then, we'll catch you on the next one.